To troubleshoot a water heater, firstly perform some initial checks. Begin by inspecting the power supply. Ensure there is power to the water heater by checking the breakers or fuses. Secondly, if your water heater uses a pilot light, check the pilot light to make sure it is lit. Thirdly, check the thermostat. The thermostat may have malfunctioned, so adjust it to a higher temperature. Fourthly, inspect the water supply. Make sure there is sufficient water pressure and flow to the water heater. When testing the heating elements, it is crucial to disconnect the electrical conductors for safety. Turn off the power supply and disconnect the electrical conductors before testing. Use a multimeter, setting it to the ohm setting. Touch the meter probes to the terminals of each element. A reading of infinity indicates an open circuit, while a low reading, typically between 10 and 100 ohms, indicates continuity. If one or both elements fail the continuity test, they need to be replaced. There are other troubleshooting tips to consider. If applicable, check the gas control valve, ensuring it is functioning properly and receiving gas. Inspect the drain valve for leaks or clogs. Listen for unusual noises, such as hissing, banging, or rattling sounds, which may indicate a problem. Consider the age of the water heater. If it is over 10 years old, it may be time for a replacement. Always prioritize safety when working with electrical appliances. Ensure the power is turned off before disconnecting any wires or components. Use appropriate tools and safety gear, such as insulated gloves and eye protection. If you are uncomfortable with troubleshooting or replacing water heater components, it is recommended to contact a licensed plumber for professional assistance. Replacing a heating element involves several steps. Firstly, turn off the power to the water heater at the circuit breaker. Secondly, drain the water heater. Connect a hose to the drain valve near the bottom of the tank and run it to a suitable drain. Open the drain valve and allow the water to drain completely. Thirdly, access the heating elements. Remove the access panels on the side of the water heater to expose the heating elements. These panels are usually held in place by screws. Fourthly, disconnect the wires. Disconnect the wires connected to the heating element terminals. Use a screwdriver to loosen the screws holding the wires in place. Fifthly, remove the old heating element. Use a heating element wrench to unscrew the old heating element from the tank. Be prepared for some residual water to spill out. Sixthly, install the new heating element. Apply plumber's tape to the threads of the new heating element and screw it into the tank using the heating element wrench. Tighten it securely. Seventhly, reconnect the wires. Reconnect the wires to the heating element terminals, making sure they are securely attached. Eighthly, replace the access panels. Replace the access panels on the side of the water heater and secure them with screws. Ninthly, refill the water heater. Close the drain valve and allow the water heater to refill completely. Open a hot water faucet to release any air trapped in the tank. Tenthly, turn on the power. Turn on the power to the water heater at the circuit breaker and monitor its operation. Check for leaks and ensure that the water heats up properly. When working with gas water heaters, there are additional safety precautions to take. Firstly, never work on a gas water heater if you smell gas. Evacuate the area immediately and call a qualified gas technician. Secondly, ensure proper ventilation. Gas water heaters require adequate ventilation to prevent the buildup of carbon monoxide. Thirdly, check the gas supply line for leaks. Use a gas leak detector or soapy water to check for leaks around the gas supply line and fittings. Fourthly, inspect the burner assembly. Check the burner assembly for dirt, debris, or corrosion. Clean the burner ports with a wire brush if necessary. Fifthly, adjust the gas pressure. The gas pressure to the water heater should be within the manufacturer's specifications. Use a manometer to measure the gas pressure and adjust it as needed. Sixthly, test the thermocouple or flame sensor. The thermocouple or flame sensor is responsible for shutting off the gas supply if the pilot light goes out. Test the thermocouple or flame sensor with a multimeter to ensure it is functioning properly. Seventhly, inspect the vent pipe. Check the vent pipe for obstructions or damage. The vent pipe should be properly connected and sloped upward to allow for proper venting of exhaust gases. Water heater maintenance is essential for extending the life of the unit and preventing problems. Firstly, flush the water heater regularly. Flushing the water heater removes sediment that can accumulate at the bottom of the tank and reduce its efficiency. Secondly, inspect the anode rod. The anode rod is a sacrificial rod that protects the tank from corrosion. Inspect the anode rod periodically and replace it when it is significantly corroded. Thirdly, insulate the water heater. Insulating the water heater can reduce heat loss and low energy bills. Use a water heater insulation blanket or wrap to insulate the tank. Fourthly, set the thermostat to the correct temperature. Setting the thermostat too high can waste energy and increase the risk of scalding. The recommended temperature is 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Fifthly, check the temperature and pressure relief valve. The temperature and pressure relief valve is a safety device that prevents the tank from overpressurizing. Test the valve periodically to ensure it is functioning properly. Sixthly, inspect the wiring and connections. Check the wiring and connections for corrosion or damage. Tighten any loose connections and replace any damaged wiring. Seventhly, keep the area around the water heater clean and clear. Avoid storing flammable materials near the water heater. When troubleshooting a water heater, it is helpful to have some basic tools and equipment on hand. Firstly, multimeter. A multimeter is essential for testing electrical components such as heating elements and thermostats. Secondly, heating element wrench. A heating element wrench is used to remove and install heating elements. Thirdly, pipe wrench. A pipe wrench is used to tighten and loosen pipe fittings. Fourthly, screwdriver set. A screwdriver set is needed for removing and installing screws. Fifthly, pliers. Pliers are used for gripping and manipulating wires and components. Sixthly, adjustable wrench. An adjustable wrench is used to tighten and loosen nuts and bolts. Seventhly, voltage tester. A voltage tester is used to check for live wires. Eighthly, gas leak detector. A gas leak detector is used to detect gas leaks. Ninthly, plumber's tape. Plumber's tape is used to seal pipe threads. Tenthly, flashlight. A flashlight is needed for working in dark or confined spaces. Remember to always follow safety precautions when working with electricity and gas. If you are not comfortable performing any of these tasks, it is best to contact a qualified professional. In addition to the steps outlined above, there are some other factors to consider when troubleshooting a water heater. Firstly, check the age of the water heater. If the water heater is more than 10 years old, it may be nearing the end of its lifespan and may need to be replaced. Secondly, consider the water quality. Hard water can cause mineral buildup inside the tank, which can reduce its efficiency and lifespan. If you have hard water, you may want to consider installing a water softener. Thirdly, check for leaks. Leaks can cause water damage and waste energy. Inspect the water heater and surrounding area for any signs of leaks. Fourthly, listen for unusual noises. Unusual noises, such as banging or hissing, can indicate a problem with the water heater. Fifthly, check the water temperature. If the water is not hot enough, it could be a problem with the thermostat, heating element, or gas valve. Sixthly, check the pressure relief valve. The pressure relief valve should be tested periodically to ensure that it is functioning properly. Seventhly, check the drain valve. The drain valve should be opened periodically to flush sediment from the tank. Eighthly, check the venting. The venting for a gas water heater should be inspected to ensure that it is properly installed and free of obstructions. Ninthly, check the gas supply. The gas supply to a gas water heater should be checked to ensure that it is adequate. Tenthly, check the electrical connections. The electrical connections to an electric water heater should be checked to ensure that they are tight and free of corrosion. By following these troubleshooting tips and performing regular maintenance, you can keep your water heater running efficiently and safely for many years. If you encounter a problem that you cannot resolve, it is always best to contact a qualified professional for assistance. They will have the knowledge and experience to diagnose and repair the problems safely and effectively. And remember, safety should always be your top priority when working with electricity and gas.